what it is. It is Yo Girl Cadillac. Yes, I'm Cadillac Dixon. I'm the drama like prison wife. I'm the legally blind artist that is rapping and painting for justice, hoping, girl, because you got to hold your breath for justice. To see justice before it all fades to black. Gets hits you, girl Cadillac. Anyways, guys, I'm coming through the last, 4 minutes of November the 29th, 2025. So, this was day 3 of the 4-day visit weekend. Many prison wives, and not just the prison wives, the guys, many incarcerated citizens wait for this time of year. This is the one time of year, just about, that I believe that you get a 4-day visit if you choose. You don't have to come every single day, but many do. They make it a whole thing. I even just seen a new prison wife that I haven't really seen on YouTube before. I came across her channel where she was saying, I'm going to prison for 4 days. So I thought she was actually going to prison. But then you learn that she's basically going to visit. So she is in one of the states where prison wives and their loved ones, they actually can have a trailer for visitation. So visitation is not in the setting of a visiting room. They get actual time together like an actual real family. No boundaries between them. And this is usually only certain states. I think New York does it and California. I don't know of any other states that do, but maybe they are. Florida don't do nothing, right? So everybody be on hold for, like, there's more barriers and boundaries between our relationships here than other states, but you do have to be grateful for whatever level of whatever you got with your loved one, right? So I was just going to do a quick recap of I'm getting tired too. Oh, this wore me out, to be honest with you. It wore me out, but I mean, I got through it because so happened, Marcello, my husband, um, he was up north, like not all the way up north in Florida, but he's like northern than where we are, right? So 2 hours away. It's not that easy to get. Well, it could be somewhat easy to get up there because he's like 2 hours away, but trying to get back is a terrible time, because I would be coming down I-75 to the turnpike. And baby, I-75, I don't know why, but it's like always packed headed back that way. So a drive that would take me 2 hours there many times have taken me 3 to 4 hours. It was times that the last time, not the last time, the time before that Marcello was in that facility, girl, I was in college. This is when I really thought that was the brink of change in my life. But anyway, I was in college, I was in graphic design school. I had a high schooler. I was a single mother to a high schooler, trying to put her in everything, trying to prepare her for college. So I was doing all of that, preparing for prom, oh, it was too much. And she was a dual enrollment student, so she had things going on in her technical school, her tech school, and her high school, and preparing for college. And I was preparing to be on the cusp of graduating college. It was so much. Never slept. I remember at that time I was working at the theme park in the laundry room, and I literally would get off of my night shift. I worked overnight, would start at 8:30 p.m. So if I'm coming from visitation at 3, ends at 3, I'm stuck in traffic, right? It's regularly no traffic. I would get there back to the area of home by 5:30, right? Oh, and I was in my internship. So I was full-time student, full-time worker, full-time mother to a daughter all over the place, and doing the internship and trying to get my butt up and down the road to visitation while my husband was in maximum security. It was crazy. So 5:30 with no traffic, I would get home. But with that compounded traffic, it would be sometimes 7:30, where I would have no time. I would either get no sleep and I'd be going to bed as I'm trying to fold this laundry, right? Or I would get like 30 minutes or an hour of sleep, right? Which, oh my gosh. Side note, I got to do a whole nother video about that, girl, because I'll get all the way off track. Because they're cracking down so much on van lifing, it's almost to the point where when you on the road traveling, you can't even just pull over and get you a little quick 30-minute nap. There are times I barely made it up that road because of that, because I was so tired. And you just need a nap. You don't want to delete yourself trying to just keep going. So whenever you can't play with the road traveling, right? Prison wives know that. Um, so the moment I get a little bit sleepy, baby, I'm pulling over. But now they're trying to make it where, girl, they doing too much. I wish they would just sit down for a moment. Just sit, y'all. Take several seats, y'all. Because y'all doing a little bit too much at once. And none of it is allegedly for our good. But, anyways, said all that to say that's how far he was, because he ended up being back at that camp, not in the maximum, but at a camp that was behind the maximum security prison. So we got a notice that he was transferring. So this weekend, the 4-day weekend, which that was a gift from God, he actually transferred back to where he was right before that transfer at the reception center. And the reception center is kind of like where you go to when you first go into prison. He also was at the reception center way back when he first went to prison. That's kind of where they establish where you're going to go. They kind of putting you in the system, introducing you to everything, and then finding your permanent camp, right? But at that time, I don't know what changed, but back then in 2002, when I first became a prison wife, we, because we weren't legally married, I could not go visit him. It was only family that could visit him. And I don't know if that was because he was just being, is that a thing that was of the past? I would have to do research. Or is that because that's how they used to do, like they used to do it that way? Or is it anybody that when they first come into prison, when they're at the reception, only their family members can visit them? I don't know. I don't know. And then our daughter back then, when he was there way back when, our daughter was only one going on two. So, but girl, I said all that just to delay, I guess. I'm so tired. But I guess I'm just rambling at this point. But he's at the reception center. So this would be his third time being at the reception center. I guess that's why I said that. But now he's just kind of sliding through because he's on his way to a different camp. So I guess they're transferring him more south now. So he was coming from the north, and it's like the weekend was a pit stop, and then they're gonna travel on to whatever camp he's going to, right? So he was like, "Oh, for the weekend, I'm going to be at the reception center. So can you put in visitation?" So I was hoping that he didn't get transferred like in the middle of the week, because my feeling was that we might put in the reception center Viso form, and then they transfer him, like, but no, they wouldn't have transferred him on Thursday because that was Thanksgiving. And then I don't think they would really do it that Friday. Most likely it wouldn't be until into the week, like Monday, that he probably would be anywhere between that week that they would transfer, because he said they don't transfer on the weekend and they don't do it on the holiday. So he was kind of in place here, right in Orlando. This is his second time since he was wrongfully incarcerated being back to Orlando. And then, so he's really close. He's like 20, 30 minutes away. So the first day I gave y'all that rundown, but I didn't update you on how visitation went. My daughter gave me the whole scoop because I just kind of went up there with them to make sure that our granddaughter and grandson could get in, because my daughter misplaced their birth certificates, right? And you bring a child, you got to have a birth certificate. Even if it is your child, you got to have the birth certificate. And if it's not your child, you also need a notarized letter. So the way that I'm going to do day one, I was going to just do them all in one whop. Each day's visitation kind of story time, because y'all know I kind of keep track of it, because previous to this, like, documented on YouTube, I used to have all these stories, but sometimes it's hard to remember because it's been so long and so many different things happen. So if you don't really keep track of what's happening, you kind of don't remember until something triggers the memory of that thing that happened. So with actually telling story times, you can just recall it much easier because it's right there. Even if you forget it once you click on the video, it's back in your memory bank. But so I had asked my daughter, how did everything go? Because all I did was go up there. They did let the kids in. I was waving them by as they were going in to see Marcello. I was excited for all of them. Princess had been wanting to see her granddad. She called him Bacello, Granddad Bacello. And he was really like anticipating seeing Princess and Akeo, seeing Akeo, our grandson, walking, because he got transferred just a little before he was walking. So we haven't been able to make too many trips to see him because the distance um, actually kind of stopped some of the visiting. So they go in. I left. I barely made it there on fumes. I hit up the gas station. Y'all seen me. I gassed up, did my little story time thus far, and then I headed home. And before I could even blink an eye, it was time for me to rush off to work. So on my way to work, our daughter was getting out of visitation because it is 3. I had to be to work by 4. Visitation ends by 3. So as she was heading home from visitation, I was heading to work. So I give her a call. I'm like, how did visitation go? And she said it went good, that the kids were going crazy, that they were pulling, Princess was pulling all the toys out, all the toys, all the games and stuff. Because it's like she want to play every single game, every toy, like she just goes crazy. Um, she wants me to play with her a lot, and she's like, I don't have no friends, Grandma. Play with me. Me and her spend a lot of time together, but it's special for her to get to spend that time with her granddad. She really enjoys that time with her granddad, playing games, coloring. And then they have a little patch of grass. Remember, I told you that lady used to get off the grass, nobody on the grass, and this and that. She enjoys, like, the kids get together and play games and stuff. They had the coolest game going today, but I'll tell you in that day three story time, right? I'm gonna break it down because I'm getting tired and I gotta get the camera out my face. So they were running around. She said that they had a good time. Marcello got to eat because he's been like basically. Now, the one thing that Money did tell me was that because that day was Thanksgiving, so they were supposed to have a Thanksgiving dinner. I told you, or well, they served dinner really early, so their dinner is that would have been their lunch. Was that their lunch? Yeah, doing visitation would have been their lunch, but soon after they served dinner. So it would must have been some Thanksgiving lunch dinner. I don't know. Let's call it dinner, lunch and dinner. So they was having dinner. And I told you how the guard that you could see from the gate before you go in to be checked, he was kind of like almost talking down on them and stuff like that, which you expected. Like some guards really get a lot of joy out of, you know. But I know, let me beat you to it. They shouldn't have never did what they did. So, and don't do the crime if you can't do the time. I beat you to it, so you ain't even gotta leave it in the comments. But yeah, it seems like they tried to kind of some, not all of them. Um, so Money was saying that Marcello was forced to go down there to Leonard to get his Leonard, his Thanksgiving Leonard, and he was like, "No, I don't want it." Number one, he doesn't celebrate Thanksgiving. Number two, he's like, "I got a visitation. I don't want my Leonard, right?" And she said that he turned down his plate, but they still made him go down to the chow hall. So, because she was saying we got in and they made us wait like 40 minutes before they even brought him out. And I'm like, but he kept calling and calling. Why wasn't he ready? And how did you not end up? He not end up getting caught in count because she was like he didn't get caught in count, but it was like 40 minutes before they brought him down because they made him go to the chow hall, though he turned down his plate. So I'm like, huh? That's crazy. I'm like, well, if they made him go to the chow hall, I would have just ate the food. Like, but I don't know if I'm guessing they serve a little bit better grade of food for Thanksgiving, but I really don't know. I didn't have that conversation with Marcello. I just had that conversation with our daughter. So that happened. And then they Money is our daughter. Money was like the kids was playing with them. They were doing way too much with them toys. It was just a good old time. And then what broke my heart is she said at the end, Princess cried. Princess is our granddaughter. And she was like, "I'm crying for Granddad Bocello. I'm crying for him." And I'm like, oh my gosh, it broke my heart. I'm like, she's at that stage now. Because a kid goes from the stage where, and we did this with our daughter, we raised our daughter together, our 24-year-old daughter, from 9 months old due to my husband's wrongful conviction through visitation. So, of course, at 9 months, 1 year, 2 years old, they kind of don't quite get it. They know they have fun and this and that. And my daughter used to cry to the point where I would try to make her, he would hold her till she would fall asleep. And I would pray that she would be asleep by the time visitation ends. Because if not, which I guess that was cruel too, because she knew she fell asleep in her dad's arms and now she's woken, he's gone. Like, it's back to him just being over the phone. So she was like, Princess started crying. And I'm like, oh. So she's to that stage where she's She's not aware that he's in prison, our granddaughter. So now we're grandparenting through the same bars that we parented, co parented through due to my husband's wrongful conviction. So his wrongful conviction lasted 2 generations now. And he got about another 10 more years of wrongful conviction to do. So she was like, she cried. And then I was like, oh, like that broke my heart. I'm like, now she's crying. And but Money was like, "Don't cry, you'll see him tomorrow." And she said, as soon as she told Princess that, she said, "Oh, I see him tomorrow? Okay, I see you tomorrow, Granddad, but Chedo." Oh, but yeah, so that was day one. I was not there, but I made sure I orchestrated everything and made sure everything was flowing, from getting the kids ready, helping Money because she had a her friend got engaged the day before, so she was out pretty late, so it was hard for her to get up and get the kids together. So I got them together. I made sure they got into visitation, and then I was off to work to close. I think I got off at 11:30. By the time I get home, it's like 12:30, and I had to get right back up for Viso day number 2. All right, I'll tell y'all that in the next video, probably tomorrow, because I'm going to bed. And I got Viso in the morning. And this is the last one for the week. So I plan to take the 2 kids, just me and the 2 kids, the 2 grandkids. So I really need to be going to bed. All right, I'll talk to y'all later. Matter of fact, I probably am about to go take my shower and find my clothes and put my hair up. This take me back, girl, before I end the video for the third time. Back in the 90s, me and my friend, we used to love Pump It Up. Now they had 2 Pump It Ups. They had the Pump It Up, which was the spritz with the pink, the clear pink, and then they had the Pump It Up in the white bottle. Oh my gosh, that Pump It Up in that clear pink, it smelled so good, number one. But number two, your hair was a sculpture. Your hair stayed for days. It stayed for days. And I remember that my friend, she taught me this. She slept in a chair one time because she did her hair. And I don't know if she had waterfalls or whatever. We used to wear them stacked ponytails and the waterfalls. And she had did her hair with the Pump It Up. And so she did not mess it up. She slept in a chair like this. She was going to bed. So that is what I'm about to do. I ain't finna sleep in no chair. But that takes me back to when we used to do our hair the night before. Sometimes we actually slept in our makeup. You should never do that. That is horrible. But we used to do it back in the day when we had to jump up and be ready. But yeah, that takes me back to that. I'm about to go ahead and do some to this hair tonight. Well, it's really the AM now. Take my shower. See, can I get the kids stuff out? I asked my daughter to have their stuff already out. So hopefully all I have to do, I think I got a decent amount of gas. I got enough on my card for the fresh food vending machines. So hopefully all I have to do is get the kids up, get them in the car, head to Viso, because this is the last day. All right, guys. I will talk to you later. It's your girl Cadillac.